Kane's World, part-time, totally.
Kane, how you what?
What's up, man? Welcome to Kane's World.
Yes, sir. This is a joint collab. We were gonna have the Rolls Royce pull up, and do it on neutral ground, since we're both engineers. But I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you, man. All the time.
Really, we both, as engineers, we could probably talk about engineering all day.
Yeah.
But like one of the main things I really wanted to talk about, we might as well get into sort of first, and like right off the bat, is like advice for artists. Because as an engineer, you see artists all day long and you see mistakes people make and you see certain artists do things right.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, what does Indianapolis really need? Like, what do the artists in Indianapolis really need to do to make it?
All right, so I get asked this question a lot. It's basically the question you get when the session's over, like, okay,
what do I do now?
How are we going to roll this out, I try to avoid giving too much sauce, but I'm down because I'm on How You What.
Yeah.
But definitely distribution is a thing I feel like a lot of artists don't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do with the song, My advice is get your distribution corrects and also your BMI or ASCAP, right? So
What do you even mean by distribution for like the beginner artist that doesn't
so basically where you upload your song to, and that via DistroKid or TuneCore, CD Baby, if you're signed, it's something else. And then they put it on every platform, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not putting it on iTunes yourself, you're not putting it on Spotify yourself, and then there's no way to. So these distribution companies, what they do is they tally up all your views and collect them all as one. It just makes your life easier.
Yeah.
So getting that down correct.
Like it posts it on all the platforms and it collects your money.
And it sounds common sense to me and you, but you'd be surprised a lot of artists don't know that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I find myself repeating. That's why I made the channel of like giving advice as that part of it too, because I have those conversations literally 4 times a day sometimes explaining what DistroKid is. Here's the referral link, how to use Spotify, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the more artists understand that, especially at the local level, the more everybody's going to do better. And
Everybody's
the
going
more,
to win, yeah.
when you do those sessions, where it's like 4 people on one track, if they all individually had their Spotify jump in, then you would actually see bigger numbers and more traction, outside of just the city.
Right. It's just like when you tag somebody on Instagram, the algorithm kicks in a little more.
Collaboration.
Yeah, collaboration. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I got a question for you.
What's up?
What is your dream, if the money wasn't an object, vocal chain? Mic to DAW.
Literally the one that we have here in A, the famous one for like Drake. When Eminem was here, he's the one that told us to get it. It's the Sony C800, the 1073 into the Tube Tech.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so break it down for the people. So the Sony is the mic.
Yeah,
the preamp
Sony
is the 73.
Yeah.
The Neve style. And then what is it, CO1B you said?
Yeah.
CO1B Tube Tech.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, that's like bougie, and I don't think you need that.
Is it weird? That's probably mine too. Is that whack?
Well, I think it's normal because literally how many major artists only use that chain? You know what I mean? Like it's almost time proven,
Yeah. I feel like 10 years ago, though, the chain was, Sony still, but the Avalon to the Distressor, which is kind of what is in here, actually.
That's what I hear, like,
That's what's in here.
That's why I always heard like Jay-Z use that, Rick Ross used that with the 87 to there. But I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You like a common person that's listening and enjoying the song, they're not gonna like necessarily know. Yeah, I mean, they might feel a difference, like because there is like subtle differences and stuff. But let me ask you, do you think BandLab and phones will ever be better than a Sony C800?
No.
Why? Like with technology?
Just because of how big a physical tube is, or a physical transformer, or it's just the size of the tech. Now, maybe like in 100 years, possibly, but not in our lifetime, I don't think. I mean, that's just my guess, right? I mean, if you look at like, what is it, LA2A, warm?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one model.
Like, look how big that compressor is. You know what I'm saying? Can you fit that in the phone? I don't know anytime soon.
Right. Unless it's like the digital emulations.
I mean, they fit it into 500 series gear now, so maybe.
Yeah.
Like, stuff keeps getting smaller and smaller.
What do you think of BandLab in general? I'm sure you see a lot of artists.
I mean, I think if you can use whatever you use to make it sound good, do it.
Yeah.
I don't think the DAW really matters. I mean, being an engineer, you know that. Mm-hmm. But I think the physical gear, it helps. But you can get around a lot of that stuff. I mean, a lot of viral hits are done on BandLab nowadays.
Yeah. And it can be a good tool just to remember what you're saying, you know, and how you say it, because
Right.
so many artists still write it out.
Right. But if you asked me like a recommendation, I would say, yeah, go to a studio and get on Pro Tools and, you know, the whole mic chain gist.
Yeah. So what's one of the biggest mistakes you see Indianapolis artists make that you wish they knew better?
Home recording and doing it amateurly, not going on YouTube and doing your research, or just, you know, paying us.
Like home recording, but not getting the level right, where it's still like
Yeah,
totally peaking.
You know,
or
they're on a
totally
Focusrite, which is nothing wrong with that. And then they're just like, you know, the gains, they're clipping.
Mm-hmm.
The stereotypical amateur move, not understanding how preamps work.
Right.
Yeah,
No, that's true. And then trying to take that to a studio, sometimes it's like you might as well have just recorded at the studio, you know what I mean?
right.
Because I get those a lot too, where they'll record at home and then bring in it for me to mix, and it's like you realize like most of the values, like the gear, you know what I mean, like to where you want it to sound a certain way.
Because I know you guys charge by the hour, so do we.
Mm-hmm.
So to assess on what he's saying is basically, it's going to cost the same for you to send me those stems and fix as it is just to re-record it.
It might even take me
Out the
longer
gate.
if I got to
It
fix
usually
a bunch
does
of
take me
stuff,
longer.
yeah. And you got to reorganize it,
And
you
it's
know,
going to sound
import
better,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
All right.
And
so-
obviously we're biased as engineers. We're saying come to the studio, you know.
I mean, it is what it is, man. I
Yeah.
mean, we've been doing it for a while. That's my question for you. How long have you been engineering now?
I used to, like, I always would engineer friends growing up, like closet studios,
Yeah.
you know, and I used like FL. And then I didn't realize like you could do it as a job in Indianapolis until I came to Azimuth.
Yeah.
And then it's been like 5 or so years at Azimuth.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And like I switched from like FL to Pro Tools.
You've
but-
been killing it too, man. I see you everywhere
No,
now.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was leaving and you were coming in.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No,
that's
yeah.
what's up.
And it, yeah, because you used to work out of this room all the time, right? Like the,
Well, A wasn't done, but the old
Yeah.
one, I was in A all the time.
Yeah.
But when I got here, yeah, B.
yeah, I almost prefer this room just because the computer's so much faster. And
Yeah,
stuff.
is that why?
Yeah.
Or is it the chain, man?
It could be. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Man. So my chains are similar, but they're not as. So I have warm stuff. So my chain in my A is the Sony clone to a 73 clone, but then I have an SSL bus compressor. But I think, like I told you earlier, I think I'm gonna get the CL1B.
Yeah.
But this chain right here, man, Avalon to distressor, no matter what mic you use, is crazy.
yeah.
It gets
And you
that
can
grit.
it can do a lot of compression and you don't hear it like how
Yeah.
some compressors you'll hear it.
I don't know. I
sound
feel like when you drive the Avalon, you get more of like that grit sound. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I know what you mean. And literally, it is like that like Jay-Z type rap. You know, what I mean, just
Yeah.
that style and stuff sounds good on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's in style too. Like-
Yeah. So we talk a lot about like entrepreneurial stuff too, which I definitely like respect the entrepreneurship. I told you that before too, you know, because to me it's not like bad blood or it's not even competition really. You know what I mean?
No,
'Cause,
it's like friendly
it
competition.
doesn't, and there's so many freaking artists here that like it's not like
There's enough to go around.
in a yeah,
Yeah.
and we don't do like exactly the same stuff either. But damn, I literally just forgot what I was going for.
You said entrepreneurship or something.
Yeah. So explain that journey though, because being an engineer is entrepreneurial in some ways, but then you took the leap to really be entrepreneurial and like have your own studio and
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm sure a lot of engineers think about that as like the long-term goal or their, you know.
Right.
So like, can you kind of just explain that journey and like how hard or easy it is?
So like you, I started in the closet, you know, turning into a profession by coming to Azimuth. Shout out to Ryan. But then I did it for so many years here that I would almost get overbooked. So like, you know, someone tries to book, but all rooms are booked, or I can't get in. And it's like I'm losing money. So it's like, you know what? I think it's time to spread my wings. And now I got 3 of my own rooms and engineers under me. But yeah, it's something I expect even out of my engineers. You know, like my lead engineer Tony. I was telling him the other day. I said, man, if you ever get your own studio, man, I'll be the first investor. You know, like you can't just expect, I don't know. Like if Paige is making $1 million a year, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go my own way. You know, this is what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's natural. And just with that entrepreneurial spirit, you don't want like a ceiling, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
you want to be able to grow and expand, and there's nothing wrong with
man.
But in what ways is it harder? Because just being a professional engineer is already hard, answering messages and rolling it like that. But then once you're responsible for everything else, it's got to be different.
So one thing would be like, you know, like when I was here, not realizing like this might sound stupid, as simple as this, but like cleaning, I didn't really like. I would pick up.
I don't think about it.
I would
really,
pick. You don't think about it, but like when you own the place, it's like, oh my God, they left, you know, cups out, or there's a spill over here on the floor. You don't think about it when you don't own the building, but there's a lot more that goes into. So it's not just engineering anymore. Like sometimes I'll go to the studio, I want to be booked, and I'll be busy the whole time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and if anything breaks, it's up to you.
Yeah, anything breaks, it's up to you. You know, dealing with studios, there's always something. There's like peanut butter, no jelly. That's what I always say. There's always a fire to put out every night at the studio.
Yeah, that's like the main job as an engineer is just troubleshooting. You know what I mean? Because a lot of it's not crazy hard to like track a song. You know what I mean? But they pay you in case something.
But yeah, if you have like an XLR cord that's bad, like it's a lot of, you know.
You got to figure
process elimination of like, what's wrong here?
Yeah.
Is it the mic? Is it the pre? Is it the compressor? Oh, it's a cord.
Yeah.
You know, it might take 40 minutes.
Yeah. But part of that, like, engineering mindset is knowing you can sort of do it all yourself, too. You know, I feel like that's why some engineers start, is because they're like, I'm not going to pay this person when I can do it. You know, or that's why people start making beats, too. You know, they're like, when you have that feeling, you know you can do it, so why let somebody, you know, why pay somebody else?
Yeah. The reason why I started is because my friends were doing the home studio thing, and I just knew I wasn't the star. Like,
were you rapping at the time?
No, like but I knew I wanted to be a part of it. Like I tried, like I messed around for fun, but like I knew I wasn't the star, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be the guy on the computer. Yeah. So let me engineer.
You know, we actually have one of your old songs that I'm gonna pull up.
Oh no,
I'm just kidding. I'm just
don't do that.
But no, it's the same. I feel like
Coach Kane on YouTube. Go look it up.
I feel like most engineers sort of have a similar journey though with it. You know what I mean? Like you get introduced and you realize like that it's even a thing, because most common people don't even know what an audio engineer is. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
they don't.
I bet you still have to explain it
to my family.
Me too, all the time.
My own dad would be like, "So what do you do again?"
Yeah, literally every time I see him though. You know,
my favorite one is, "You got anybody that's gonna make it?" It's like, Dad, I don't. It's cool if they do, but I'm worried about, you know, engineering, not making it with them. I'm worried about, you know, my ceiling.
They're always asking, why do you do it at night though? You know. But yeah.
What's your favorite reverb to use on like a let's say an ad-lib track?
I'm gonna go ad-lib. I'm gonna go CLA effects. Really? Just to be easy, because I like the blend in like the Canyon, you know what I mean, or the large ball or whatever. But I'm a fan of Deverb too. I thought you said ad-lib and I switched it up, but just in general, I think Deverb is one of the best stock ones.
I agree.
And that's what I use to make like risers, you know, like the whoosh sound coming in and shit. Like
the reverse reverb shit.
Yeah. But we have Neoverb in here. That one's cool because it uses like AI to EQ.
I've never
it
used
and
it.
Shit. Yeah, it's
Neoverb.
But on my chain, I actually use like 3 or 4 reverbs that I'll blend depending on like just what sounds good on it.
Just experimenting, huh?
Basically, like I just have it on my template, you know, just in case, like just different, you know, it'd be like a plate or like a large hall or like a super spacey one, whatever.
Hell yeah. How many templates do you have? Do you have one and then you just break it, and you just figure out what this artist is doing and go a different way? Or do you start at the same template every time?
Because I mean, that's how I think about it. Is like it's giving me like my toolbox, and then like whether it's an R&B session or whatever, it's still set up where I don't have to like insert the track and do the routing and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, like an R&B track might have way more tracks than a rap song. You know what I mean? But
definitely.
Yeah, like I have one that I use for like mainly all the rap ones, and then like if somebody brings in a mix, I have like a different template. Because of the different issues, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like R&B and stuff, it's basically the same, but it's just different settings. You know what I mean? Like it'll be like more reverb or, you know, whatever.
Right. Yeah, similar situation.
Yeah, I'm hoping to sell templates on here too, or I mean, I give my template away.
Making like a commercial, be like, hey, you want to sound like? You ever seen those commercials? Yeah. Do you want to sound? And it's just the engineer rapping.
Yeah.
Sounding like.
And speaking of that, this video is sponsored by DistroKid.
Boom.
If you don't have DistroKid, check out the link in the description. You'll get a referral and a percentage off when you create your account.
Boom.
Because that's part of it. You don't want to wait to have to monetize shit, you know, like even if
Right.
it's like the merch, like I sell that and all the profit goes to giving away for studio time and
Yeah.
shit. But like like ideally with the YouTube channel, if I was like as official as I want to be with it, you know, I would be like like doing my own ad reads for like whether it's
Right.
my own mixing and
You ever
mastering.
you ever looked up
templates.
like affiliate stuff?
Affiliate links? Yeah. Because I mean that's what the DistroKid thing is too. It's
Right,
just the
bro.
re-
Such
like
an
the
easy
referral.
extra money to get for no reason. Like, why not do it?
Yeah, you're talking about Amazon affiliates.
Well, just like you can go to like
just in general?
you can just Google like brands that accept affiliates,
Yeah.
right? So it might be someone's random store. It
But
might
even
be corporate.
Amazon products, if you scroll down to it, you'll see a lot of those. You can get your own affiliate link. So
Really?
say you find like $1,000 microphone on there and you sponsor it. You know, I mean, the more expensive it is, the
You
bigger
get
your
commission from the
percentage
sale,
is.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some free game right there. Affiliate links.
Yeah, and that's what I'm about is free game too, because like obviously you got to do it. You can't just. I mean, it's easy to have a good idea.
I'm
you know
all
what
about
I mean?
free game, bro.
Yeah, and
all
especially
about
with the artists, because the more artists learn and the more official they are, the better off we're gonna be too. You know, what I
Right.
mean, the more they understand that like studio time's a tax write-off. You know, what I mean, the
Yeah.
more they're not just wasting money. You know what I'm saying?
Did my taxes today.
Yeah, but
hate
but like just talking about taxes to artists can be like super confusing. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
most of the time it's all the creative space of making the music and not really understanding the business.
I feel like a lot of people don't realize you're self-employed. You know, people don't
oh,
realize
it is a
that.
business.
It's a
Yeah, it's a business.
You're
yeah.
a brand.
Otherwise
Especially if you're an
it's-
artist, you're a brand. It's a business.
Yeah.
You can write a lot of stuff off.
Yeah.
Even if you're working a 9 to
should, 'cause
5.
Why not get all the money you can coming in? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I have a question. How many artists do you think? Sometimes we're in a hurry and we have, a session right behind another session, and it's all day sometimes. How often has an artist asked you for their session on a hard drive, like a percentage-wise?
A very low percentage. The official
the-
ones do.
it-
The
it-
official ones do, but most smaller artists, they probably don't even like understand why.
So
they
what's
should.
your advice for that to artists?
I mean, you definitely should. You can trust Azimuth, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we back up our backups to where, like, even if the building burnt down, we're not going to lose your
Right.
masters, hopefully. But you shouldn't have to trust that. You know what I mean?
So there's the magic word, the masters.
yeah, can it be, yeah.
So will you explain what
So-
owning your masters actually means?
Right, and like the session that you do it would be considered like the master recording and stuff
Right.
too. So having ownership of that, which you would still have the rights even if you don't have it on a hard drive, but you don't want to like lose that, so like and also as you're a bigger artist, we know a lot of artists that go city to city in different studios.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you don't want to be stuck with the one recording you did in New York. You want to be able to bring that and be able to change it. So
Right.
it lets you control your own without having to call the studio
Right.
every
So
time.
if you get like a commercial on a sink, for instance, for your song, but say it's for Hershey's, and they're like, "Hey, we just want the backs or just the hook with the beat. You need your masters because now you control your master session without having to pay. You might have to book an hour again to get your stuff, or
And if it's when you're talking years, that studio might not even exist. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
I mean,
if you're talking
a flood
like 10
could
years
happen,
ago.
like you said, a fire.
Yeah.
Not every studio has that cloud sync like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Most don't.
no, they don't.
But yeah, it just gives you, it like helps you maintain, the ownership of it and just control of it.
Yeah.
I think that's for sure one of the basic things that people don't understand. But when you're first starting out, at that point they're not getting hit up for anybody to use the masters. You know what I
No.
mean? So like,
But it's a
good to
longevity
understand.
thing.
Yeah, and
It's a good practice. Like,
Yeah.
all right, let me grab my session.
yeah, because the more you understand the business, the more you're going to be ready for it when an opportunity comes
Right.
up.
Right.
Or the more you'll be able to see an opportunity and know what they're talking about.
My big one is you can have the greatest relationship ever with your engineer, but there might be that one day you guys fall out. It's happened to me. It's happened to engineers I know. You might have the tightest relationship with an artist, and then if you have like a little
You miss a couple
sideline,
texts.
whatever, and have issues, it's much harder to hit that person. Like, hey, by the way, I know we're arguing, but can I get my EP on my
Right.
sessions?
And I mean, you're just hoping that they're even still doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because
right.
not like not every engineer is going to be here 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me ask you something though too.
Go ahead.
We'll get into like the spicy stuff, but when you started engineering, what was like your frame of it? Like you knew that like it was possible in a way because like you did the home studios and stuff.
So actually, one of my best friends, shout out to Chris Conte, his older brother did Blame It on the Alcohol, the like #1 song in the world in '09. And he was like my brother, so I was like,
Oh, Blame It on the
yeah, it was #1 song in the world '09. Yeah, it was
That's
his song. You know, Akon bought it. Like the lyric, he made the beat, everything.
He wrote the song.
He wrote the
That's
song
crazy.
and made the beat, and so he got like hella. But I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. That was kind of like my motivation.
Yeah.
Like, I know him. Like, he did it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Right. So that was kind of my motivation for that.
No, that's dope.
Yeah.
So did you start off wanting to do like more songwriting and like full production and stuff?
My thing was more of I wanted to do music, but I knew I wasn't the star, right? So I was like, what can I do to be a part of the music? And then at that time was just, okay, I'll be the guy on the computer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was really my only pure motivation at the time was it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, but then I started to take it more seriously. I started out on, I'm old, to show my age, something called Cool Edit Pro.
Oh yeah.
Some people never even heard of that. But then
Yeah.
it went to like Mixcraft. I skipped over the FL stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Mixcraft, I think it was Pro Tools.
Did
But,
you ever
yeah.
use Cubase?
I steered clear of that.
Yeah. That was like the original one. I was. It literally took like years to figure out how to do anything. Like when you're learning by yourself.
Yeah, bro.
But no, that's dope. So, cause we've known each other for a long time, but I don't really like know your story. And also, I've seen you push the Captain Hooks. Are those albums you coordinate
So
as a thing?
the story behind that is so yes, I do hooks. Like I won't do.
It
a
was
verse.
you rapping the hook on
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So usually if like an artist like cancels and I'm in, like I always
I know
get
what
this.
you mean.
I always get the session early, right?
Yeah.
To like mentally prepare. Like okay, if someone cancels or like they're like really late, and I'm just like jittery, like I want to do music. Sometimes I'll just pull up a YouTube beat and I'll like freestyle melody, and I'll make a hook. And well, I had like 3 years of those,
Mm-hmm.
and then every now and then someone would hear it and they'd be like, "This is really dope." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." So then I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna do an EP."
Yeah.
And then that grew to another EP. Yeah, so
No, that's
I don't
cool.
really look at myself as an artist, but I mean, people like it, so why not?
Yeah, and it goes hand in hand. And if you have sort of the knowledge and the skill to do it all yourself,
Yeah,
why not?
why not? Yeah.
So, what did you do to push like those albums? Like, did you ever get like a marketing rollout too, or was it like
Not
how
really,
did you-
because I didn't, like I said, I didn't look at myself as an artist. So what I did was, I did the correct distribution just in case there was like a viral moment of it. So I would be like, you know,
Like on all the
I'm
platforms
getting,
and
yeah, I
stuff.
didn't just put it out there, but I kind of just let my friends market it because I didn't approach it like a real artist.
Right. Well, and you're in a different position being an engineer because we know so many artists where you're almost.
Yeah.
It's almost weird because sometimes, like, I'm not saying it's good or bad or whatever, but the engineer can have more clout than the artist. You know what I mean?
It's
In
possible.
a lot of scenarios, especially if you go to like Atlanta or somewhere and you're like an unknown artist, you're
Right.
hoping to work with like an engineer that has more.
I mean,
clout,
right.
you know what
If
I'm saying?
Paige did a song with like, 40 from, Drake, 40,
Yeah.
40
No, it
has
should
more
be
clout
or
than
whatever.
him, you know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
there's situations for sure. Yeah.
And I think but the reason I said it is like, it's almost a key for an artist to learn how to engineer themselves. And then if they do want to kind of get the back door into the industry.
Highly recommend every artist to learn engineering.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yeah. And if you're working a day job that you hate, maybe you would elevate your own music career by being an engineer in the studio. You know what I mean? To
Definitely.
where you're around music all day long.
Or just even the verbiage of engineers. So like when someone's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, can you add some like vibe? It's like, what is it? What do you
yeah,
mean?
they say reverb for everything. That's what I get all the
Yeah.
time. It's
Put
like, I
some
think it's the
reverb on it.
reverb, but it's like, it's never the reverb. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro.
But yeah,
You need to cut out some 5K is what that is. Or just,
yeah. That's always crazy too when you get somebody that like thinks they know exactly what they're talking about too.
it's the worst client to work with.
Yeah.
The guy that knows it all,
Yeah.
but can't sit down on the sticks. They're like, oh, I don't know. You do it, but I know what I mean. Trust
Yeah,
me.
because they watch that YouTube video, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you hire us for a reason because we're kind of knowledgeable, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be easy for us to sit here and talk shit all day too. But
Yeah.
let's try to get some views with this. Give me your top 5 list of Indianapolis artists that you think can make it.
Man, I was gonna hit you with that question first. You beat me to it.
Yeah.
We got on time? 5 minutes? All right. Lil E right now, and you're his engineer, right? At the moment. Lil E, because he's got the
Mob Family, yeah.
Yeah. He's, he's been around for a while, but he's got the ball rolling right now. I feel like everybody's talking about him. So, an artist of mine that's been working really hard, just because of his work ethic, and he's really talented. Marketability-wise, is really good marketable, is TGI Free. I like him.
And that's what I'm asking too, not just who the best is. I'm saying like who you think has the biggest chance to
I think he can make it. TGI Free, he's very marketable. My homie UG right now, he's doing stuff with Universal, so he's almost on the cuffs. So him, Paris is viral right now. Her, and then it's a weird question because it's not who I think is the best, who I think can blow.
Like who has Because you do need the total package. We see a lot of people with talent, but you need that total package.
Yeah, man. Work ethic is one of them. Just because you come in here with talent doesn't mean nothing.
You need the business.
There's a lot of people tied for 5th, man. I'll give you my top 4, and then there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
For 5.
Because you never really know, because there are so many talented people. All you need is, I mean, you could hit the lottery and go viral and get 100 million views.
You do one TikTok, you go viral.
Yeah. And obviously there is no right or wrong answer, you know what I mean? Because it's not like it's a clear thing, you know.
Let me ask you the question then. It's back at you.
Of who I think has the biggest chance?
Yeah, top 5.
I'm going to say Midwest, because he's already fucking on big label shit, and he could be like to the next level where he's like really known.
Yeah.
And he's not even known in the city that much, but Mob Family, of course, just because of how much respect he actually gets in the city. I'm going to go Kitty Red, just because she has like, you know what I mean? She's hard at rapping, and she has like the viral potentiality. Yeah. Damn, I had a good one.
See? Are you trouble with the 5th?
Well, because I mean, there's so many artists we work with. It's like you can't honestly pick like that. Mooter, I think he's talented to where he could for sure make like a really good song.
It's dope. I don't want to cut you off.
And Marco Polo all them. You know what I'm saying?
We got like 1 minute left. We're out. Kane's World and
How You What Podcast, Studio Drew. Yes, sir.
AKA Studio Drew.
I appreciate
Coach
you coming
Kane.
through.
Hell yeah, bro. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.